Welcome in, everybody.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Welcome in, everybody, to another Sunday evening Disney movie review, and we are back. Better than ever. I'm sorry about all the lighting. I'm working on trying to get the lighting correct. Dan looks great, and I'm looking like I'm about ready to tell a scary story. But anyway, we are back with Disney movie review for Sunday night, and we are, as funny as it might sound, last time we did it on my channel, we reviewed Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, we're back. Dan pulls it out of the box. Next time we're on this channel, which is on mine. From there, what does he choose? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The Lord works in mysterious ways. That's all I can say.
I'm really sorry because we were expecting something really obscure and whatever, and you know we just so happened to pull the sequel to the film we did 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. So. Well, the funny part about it is when you make the poll, it's going to be something really obscure and weird that we're going to be doing on your channel, which is going to be funny.
Oh gosh, we'll find out at the end of the show what we pull for next week. But I'm looking forward to this. I'm really am.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Let's do a little bit of quick mousekeeping before we get started. Of course, Dean over at the Live Place, this is all part of his movie marathon week that we've been having as live streamers on the Live Place. It started last Saturday, and it's ending today. Today will be the last day. I think we're one of the last ones to actually be doing one of these. So, Dean, thank you for this great idea. I think so many different channels have participated. They've been some really good ones. I highly recommend you go back and watch many of them if you can. They've all been very, very entertaining, to say the least, for sure, and enlightening in a lot of ways. I think they've been a lot of fun. So, Dean, Live Place, check him out. He's fantastic, and he's a great supporter. Of course, I have two partner channels. One of them is this guy right over here, Disney Dan. And we're going to talk a little bit about Dan in a second in his channel. Of course, Dan goes live on Saturday nights with Disney Fiasco.
Yep.
And he's right here with me on Sundays for Disney Movie Review. And he hit a big milestone today, which we are going to talk about in just a little bit. And, of course, my other partner channel is Steve's World. Steve goes live on Mondays with Just Another Monday Night, Wednesdays with the This and That Crew, and usually on Saturdays with me, Sports Night. That's kind of hit or miss right now. We've got a lot going on Saturdays. Members, thank you to all of our members. Members, your generosity and your loyalty goes without question, and it's been amazing. Thank you to all of our members. We keep growing, which is just phenomenal and just mind-blowing. Thank you to our members. And with that, let's say hi to everybody in the chat real fast, Dan, and then we're going to get started on a couple things.
Sure.
We have probably the best name in YouTube history, Super Fluffy Yeti is here. Wendy Luhu, mod extraordinaire. Wendy, great job today, by the way, dear. We love you. You know you always do a great job.
We do.
Never, ever forget that. You're fantastic. Barb, Faith, Hope, and Disney is here. Good to see you. Brandy Baez, good to see you, Brandy. Hope you're doing well. Rob Fuzz is in the house. What's up, Rob? Good to see you, buddy. Shiny Prism is here. Alex the Filmmaker's in the house. Kirsty Clark is in the house as well. Good to see you, Kirsty. Disney Dan is here. Do you know that guy?
No.
He's a good guy. Brian's West Coast Disney Adventures, or Brian Eisenhart, as I know him, is here. Captain Akron's in the house. What's up, Captain Akron? Good to see you. Drew Myers is here as well. And are we up to date? Oh, it just jumped, Dan. Hold on one second. I think we're up to date.
But I found the car key. Carol's here.
Oh, there's Car Key. Car Key is here. Carol, good to see you. It's Two Famous Guys, 4K and 2K. Oh, that is so funny. Well, by all means, Wendy, please, by all means, never, ever, ever lose any of your confidence, deal. Let me just say that off the bat. I have 100% confidence in all of my mods to make the right decisions, no matter what happened. Sometimes things are misinterpreted or mistakes are made. Not on your part. I'm talking about in the chat. Please don't take that in any way, shape, or form. You're fantastic. You're a mod for a reason because you're wonderful and you do a great job. Dan, do you agree?
I absolutely agree. You know, without you guys, you know, the mods that we have for not just Walt's channel, but for all of our channels, you are the ones that we trust the most, who help us. And it's earned. You know, we
absolutely
we all love you, and we just want you guys to enjoy the ride with us and be part of it with us. So yeah.
And it is a job. I mean, they're doing a job. They're watching every single comment that comes in to make sure it's appropriate. Yep. And sometimes you have to make decisions on things.
It just happens, yeah.
It happens. We love you. You do great. But please, that's all. I just wanted to say that. Rachel Fithian, welcome in. Good to see you.
Rachel.
Hope you're doing well, Rachel. Great to see you. But before we get started, I got to say a very big thank you. Thank you. Yes, and congratulations. First, a thank you to everybody in the chat. And a big congratulations to that guy right over there.
No, to you.
2,000 subs. Dan hit 2,000 subs. It's a long time coming. He should have been there a long time ago. I'm so happy for you, pal. Congratulations on 2K.
Yeah.
Bigger and better things coming, dude.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I just want to give a massive thank you to you for the stream earlier today. We were actually talking yesterday about, today, that we're both going to hit our milestones and we're going to celebrate. And it's just a thank you for helping me reach the goal today. I want to give a big thank you to all the moderators who helped out in the chat today, who helped me, and people like Rob Fuzz who really helped share out the stream. Wendy, Candy Mum was there, Isaac Nail.
Yeah.
All these people were just helping me so much, and I really do appreciate everything that you've done and to help me. And I can't believe I'm at 2,000. I'm almost baffled. I'm gonna give him a big shout out to. Now I received a PayPal, a celebrated PayPal from Barbara. Now, I believe this is the Barbara from Faith, Hope, and Disney, and I just want to give a big thank you to her. If that is you who sent me the PayPal, I don't want to give you your last name away, but if that is you, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, and it means the world to me. And thank you, and thank you, Walt, for helping me, and we're able to celebrate today both of our milestones because you're now in 4K. The 4K. I mean, that's just incredible. That is absolutely amazing, man. Well done.
I appreciate it. Let me just, first off, Melissa's here.
Yeah, Melissa.
Molly Rook is here as well. Molly, good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Rachel. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I do very quickly want to say thank you to everyone who did get us to 4,000 subs. It's been a true honor and a blessing to be able to bring the parks to you guys and to make new friends along the way. The streaming has really allowed that possibility. It's been fantastic, and I appreciate it. And I do have to say that anybody that is a member of our channel, if you're in the Grim Grinning Gang channel, which is our highest tier, our newest Man versus Park video did release today.
Yay!
Go watch that. I'll release it to everybody else in a little bit, but I want my Grim Grinning Gang members to get that first. So Man versus Park, the next one, it's a thriller. I'll put it to you that way. And you'll like it, I think. I think you will. But Dan, let's get started on this, man. We have to talk. Look, we're back into the Marvel universe, right?
We are. This is our third Marvel review. We reviewed Age of Ultron, and then 2 weeks ago we reviewed the first Guardians, and now we're reviewing the second one. So I'm excited about this one. I think when we pulled it out of the box, out of the hat last week, you said there was a lot to talk about, a lot of things to discuss about this film, and this is going to be really interesting because I feel that this one, I think a lot of people really liked it or they didn't. This was quite a divisive Marvel film, I think. So I'm interested to hear people's opinions in the chat. We're going to go through the film, discussing favorite parts, favorite characters, the meanings of those characters, and what the whole meaning of the story is in the whole of the MCU. So it's going to be really fun. Really fun.
Yep. Now, we won't quite break this one down as much as we do some of these other movies, but we are going to talk about the movie in general. Drew, he says, look, controversial opinion, but Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is his second favorite. No, that's not controversy at all. That's fantastic. Do you like it that much? Did we like it that much? We'll find out in the end when we give our letter grade. What's up, Keith? Big Disney fan. Welcome.
Hey, Keith.
Buddy. First and foremost, let me say this. This movie is a direct sequel to the first one. In that first movie, they leave hints about the Star-Lord's dad couple things here and there, a couple little kind of hints about
Yeah,
it.
Yandu mentions it. And,
Yep, his mother mentions it on her deathbed. Your father was an angel, this, that, and the other. And so there are hints about his dad. Well, this movie is really about his relationship with his dad. He gets to meet him. He gets to finally find out who his father is in this movie. Now, I'm not going to break it down scene for scene, but ultimately that's where we are. I mean, that's what this movie is, primarily the overarching thing. Wouldn't you agree, Dan? It's his meeting his father and who his father is and who he is.
that was the whole sort of mystery why Star-Lord was able to hold the Power Stone for so long in the first Guardians, because we believe that there was something else that no normal man could hold an Infinity Stone, yet Star-Lord did. He was able to hold an Infinity Stone.
Right.
And then when they went to see Nova, they were like, oh, your mother was from Earth, but your father is something very ancient. And this kind of led us to what's going to happen in the film. Yondu, at the end of Guardians 1, said that his father was, I'm not going to say the exact word, but wasn't a nice guy.
Right.
But the mother at the start of Guardians says that he was an angel. So we're kind of getting two conflicted sort of opinions of who this father figure was. So we're super excited to see what happens, and I thought this was very intriguing. I thought this was it was good to see how Star-Lord sort of came about. And this film 100% focuses more on character development than most other Marvel films, I would say. I think they really focus on characters and their development rather than focusing on an overall story, which I really like.
Yeah, and he does ultimately meet his dad in this film. It's played by Kurt Russell. And I think a lot of what the mom says in the first one when she calls his dad an angel, I take it, Dan, literal. Not necessarily an angel. Look, if you haven't seen this movie already, I'm sorry.
Like an angel personality, yeah.
Not an angel personality, just like a literal angel, a being that
came from the heavens, came out of nowhere. Yeah.
It's going to live forever. It is immortal, so to speak, I guess is the word.
Right.
And that's what his dad is, to be honest with you. He is I guess in the Marvel world, he'd be a god, correct? He is a god. He is a god. He's a god.
He is a celestial, which is the same as the Collector, the same as the Grandmaster, who Jeff Goldblum plays in Thor Ragnarok. He is the equivalent of a god. He is called a celestial, and he is a very powerful ancient being that happens to go all over the galaxy and do good, more bad kind of things. So that's pretty much who he was.
Right, and it all starts out. You kind of go back in time. You see him with Star-Lord's mom back in the 60s, I guess, or 70s, when they're together and they're there. And, of course, they conceive Star-Lord and things like that. And off he goes. He goes into his own thing. And when you first meet Kurt Russell's character, whose name what's his name?
Ego, the Living Planet, yeah.
Which is a great name, by the way, Ego. He comes back and finds his son, and he wants to get to know him. He wants to be part of his life. We think, anyway. We think that's what he wants. He wants to have his son in his life, just to have his son in his life. And the whole time, we have all these other side stories going on as well. Gamora is still fighting with her sister.
So
that's still happening.
So we're just, I think the film really picks up where you were right that it picks up where we, leave off. And the Guardians were doing this mission on this big giant monster to get these batteries, which Drax kept getting the name wrong, which I thought was hilarious.
Right.
Baby Yoda was not the original cute baby. Baby Groot. We got introduced to Baby Groot, which I think everybody absolutely loved.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not a fan of Baby Groot.
It's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
I liked the regular Groot better.
Me too. I do like Baby Groot, but not nearly as much as
the actual I don't know why.
Groot.
Yeah, I hate to say it. He's cute and all, but when he's kind of annoying. I'm sorry. I know.
So And so they're doing this job for the Sovereign. Now, the Sovereign are these big gold people who you don't really know who they are. They're just some beings who want. I don't really even know who. Here's the thing with Guardians 2. The main characters in the film, their character development is very good, but the one thing that I feel that really let it down was all the other sorts of sidey characters. And the Sovereign, we have no idea who these Sovereign are. They're just some people who have spaceships controlled by, like, it almost meant to be sort of like a simulated ride sort of thing.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that. And the Sovereign actually captured Nebula because Nebula escaped when she was fighting for Ronan in the previous film. And then obviously the Guardians take Nebula into their own custody, and that's where Gamora and Nebula start to sort of figure out their sort of relationship, their differences. We have Rocket doing his own thing. He's with Nebula. We have the thing is, what again at the start of this film we were talking about character development, and the Guardians have only just come together. Yet Star-Lord and Rocket have this falling out, and then they all separate. And I'm like, they've just come together, and now they're separating again. And I'm just kind of, I don't know. Right. Do you get the same feeling?
I do. David Stevens, welcome in. I want to say hi to David real fast. George Priestley is here. George, good to see you. The Hearn Circle of Life channel, welcome in, guys. Good to see you as well. Thank you all for being here. Look, this film... It is about character development for sure, and they actually do a pretty good job with it. I agree with you. Look, I like the Sovereign. Their best part of the whole movie is the post-credit scene, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
We will, yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that scene and hopefully what's coming in the future with that scene in a little bit. Look, again, it's about Star-Lord having a mission, not doing what he was supposed to do in that mission, and now somebody's after him again. It happened with Yondu in the first one. He was supposed to go get the orb, and he got the orb. He was supposed to bring it back to Yondu. Did he do it? No, he didn't. Yondu was after him. Same thing here again. Something with the Sovereign. Again, it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but he was supposed to do it, and now the Sovereign, they're after him again.
Yes, so they went to give the batteries back.
Hi, Drew.
But Rocket decides to steal the batteries from the Sovereign. Now the Sovereign find out, and they are now chasing the Guardians to get these batteries back. That's pretty much what they're doing.
I don't know if that's good.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. looking.
Hope it's the young David Hasselhoff. Why? Because I got like a red face or whatever.
What we need to do is we need to get to the beach and wear some red swimming trunks and run across the beach.
No, that's probably not a good idea.
With Pamela Anderson, played by Melissa. There we go. Baywatch 2, starring Walter Melissa. There we go.
Rachel said, I love how unique all of these characters are. A film devoted to character development is fine by me in this case.
Yes.
Yes, because that's really, there's not much of a story here. No. Look, the story is basic. And we're going to get to what the overarching story is this. Ego basically doesn't want to live alone. That's how I take it. He has been alone for centuries. He doesn't want to be alone, but he also needs, how do I word this, Dan? He needs another Celestial. Is that correct? It's almost funny because he's been alone all this time. He has Mantis, who's his kind of like his almost slave in a way, just making him do stuff. But he needs someone else to be around for him to sort of take over the galaxy and make everything his own. And which is why he needed his son, because Star-Lord is part Celestial, because that is, his son. Now, what the master plan of Ego is that Star-Lord was not his only son. No. He would befriend all these relationships. He would plant seeds in different,
all over the galaxy,
over the galaxy, until he would find that one that could connect with him to basically enact his master plan. And Jonathan Chong, welcome in, buddy.
Hey,
is that correct? Wouldn't you say that was
absolutely.
And they all failed.
And when he does find Star-Lord, and they have a long sort of time on Ego's planet. Well, Ego is the planet. The one thing that really shocked me in the film, the one thing that gave me the biggest surprise, and I think what really gave me a big tick for this film, is when Ego says to Star-Lord, "It was a great shame for me to plant the tumor in your mum's head," or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that, for me, yeah, it's an awful thing that happened that Ego did. That just shows how evil he is. That shows, like, he's the one. Selfish. He is the one that caused his mother to die at the beginning of Guardians 1. And I think that really, really hit home. Like, I think that was such a great villainous thing for Marvel to do, because for me, Ego at that point was just another normal Marvel villain. But that, telling everybody that it was him that caused his mother's death, bam, that was great. That was great.
I love what Wendy says. She says, all that hassle for some Duracell? It's kind of true if you think about it. That's ultimately what it was. But look, what Ego would do is he would go to all these different universes, galaxies, and plant seeds. And then he would come back, and I think he did the same thing in all these other galaxies that he did to Star-Lord's mom. He took the other parent away. So that first off, there'd be no battle between which parent to stay with and which parent not to go with.
Right.
So I don't think she was the only one he did that to. That's how I took it. Secondly, he went to all these different planets in the hope that they would be what he needed. None of the other ones were. So I hate to say it, but he killed them. He got rid of them. He didn't need them anymore. He didn't care. It was all Cousin Trio. Welcome in. Good to see you guys. Luke and Noah, if I'm not mistaken. Good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here, pals. Got to meet them last week at Animal Kingdom. That was
nice.
Awesome. Yep. Two young fellas. They were awesome. But that's what he would do. He had a master plan in it that he wanted to rule everywhere, take over everywhere. But he needed that extra. Kind of like a Duracell battery. I hate to say it, but Wendy's kind of got a point. And he wanted it to be amicable at first. He really did. He wanted him to be on the same page with him. And he was on the same page with him. He was going to do it. He was going to be part of him until he said what he said. Like you said, as soon as he said, killed me to put that tumor in your mom, that was it. It was over. He lit him up, and then he was like, that was it. And then it was kind of crazy. I'm with Melissa. Look, I love Kurt Russell. I've never been a fan that Kurt Russell is a bad guy. Right. He's one of those actors for me that I'd much rather he be a good guy. I do not like Kurt Russell as a bad guy. He's good. Don't get me wrong. He's good as a bad guy, but I don't like him as a bad guy.
Brian brings up a point. He says they need to bring in Galactus now for Phase 4 in the MCU. Now, with Thanos being the big bad guy of pretty much this saga, they're thinking about obviously who can bring in next. Galactus is obviously an obvious choice. I think you agree to this. I think Doctor Doom would be a fantastic next big villain. That way you can bring in the Fantastic Four and the X-Men with that. There's also another one which I think Marvel have hinted at, and that is Kang the Conqueror, who goes back in time and causes and conquers time. And I think that was rumored as well. So I think there's a lot for them to choose from. Look, Marvel's catalog of characters is endless. It's very interesting, and I think they chose Ego at the right point for Guardians 2. And it's interesting. There's a lot of things, and when you said he planted the seeds everywhere, he did that figuratively and literally. He figuratively did that with all the women that he met around the galaxy, but he also planted the seed, the actual plant, because those plants were these big repopulating thing, like that destroyed. I don't know. It was I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is the other character developments were actually pretty good in this movie as well. I really liked the relationship between Nebula and Gamora in this movie.
So
I
let's
thought
talk
they
about
did
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they really did a good job because we understand the main overarching is Star-Lord with his dad. But during the whole movie, Nebula is first off, she's still fighting her feelings when it comes to Star-Lord. And the minute she meets Ego, she's already got this feeling like I
Gamora.
don't
Gamora.
know
You mean?
about
Yeah.
Gamora.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Gamora. I'm sorry. She's not sure about this guy. And she wants to kind of tell him, but he's not. Look, he's like anybody else. Nah, not my dad.
You just saw your father, and you haven't met your father since obviously.
Yeah, and
he's
you're going to
be...
tell me he's a bad guy? Nah, not my dad. And then she's got this relationship with her sister that she's trying to make it a relationship. But Nebula's not having it. She's still not having it.
But what I really liked, I did like the relationship between Gamora and Nebula, how that grew over the film. But what character really helped Nebula in a lot of ways was Rocket. Rocket did a lot for Nebula, even though Nebula shot him with the Ravengers and them lot. He explained to Nebula that being mechanical and family and friendship and I think they've sort of bonded over that, and that sort of tips her over the edge for becoming that sort of sister that Gamora wanted. And that scene, I think maybe 2/3 into the film, where she comes out of into the ship and she starts firing at Gamora, and they go into the cave, and then they end up sort of making up through there. I think that was great. It was a powerful scene when you see Gamora with the massive gun on her shoulder firing at Nebula, being like, "Can we just stop this fighting?" And
yeah,
it's great. It's great.
She had her beat. She had her beat. I mean, she could have ended it, but they didn't. And
no,
it was a relationship that really you really hope that they do come together. You don't want to see either one of them die from the other, because it's neither one of their faults. They were the way they were, but one had so much jealousy over the other because of what Thanos did to them. That's what really kind of did it. Welcome in, Two Real Geeks, Danny. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well and strive to do better. Thank you for being here. Great name, by the way. Brandy says, I have not seen these Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Okay.
But they sound a lot like my wacko family of 21 half-blooded brothers and sisters.
But that's, you know what? But that's the whole thing about these Guardians. That's the whole point of these Guardians. They never got on in the first place. And then over time, they really started to care about each other. And you're right about the Nebula and Gamora story, because that even leaks over into Endgame when when their relationship is tested again. And I really like that. I really, really like that.
Yep. And Drew, yes, Drew's exactly right. The reason Rocket and Nebula are so mean is because they both have been hurt so many times. Absolutely, you're right. It is what drives who they are ultimately. But having friends and having family takes that sense of mean and anger, and they're able to let it go a little bit. Rocket when he does become part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Nebula when she finally does, kind of break down her walls and become sisters with her sister again. Bob, what's up? Stop Mouse. What's up, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see you. So I like the relationship between the two of them.
So should we, as we spoke about him, let's bring up Rocket because I think Rocket has a massive role in this film. He almost becomes almost a father figure for Baby Groot. He has sort of gone their separate ways from Gamora, Star-Lord, and Drax. I really like the scene where he's in the forest and he starts just blowing up Ravengers.
Oh yeah, that's great.
That's a great scene. And the music in the background is really fantastic. I love those big wide shots of the forest when you see like Ravagers go up from one side and then they come up the other side, and it just like they keep shooting them up, and it ends up Nebula actually stopping Rocket. I think Rocket has a lot to do in this film, and has a lot of character development. He was, I'm trying to use explicit words, but he wasn't nice to Star-Lord. He was a bit arrogant. He was
a jerk.
He was a jerk, yeah.
Yeah,
and I think he needed to learn that through his journey with the Ravengers, with Nebula with Yondu, which we'll get onto, I'm assuming, very, very soon.
Yes,
but
we're going to talk about him next.
But Rocket for me, you can clearly tell that he had a lot of character development in this film, which I think he needed, because in the first film, he got a little bit. He got a little bit when they were at the bar, when it's just like they tore me up and put me back together over and over again, and right. She called me rodent. We got a little bit of that, but in this film, we got a lot more from Rocket, and I just really enjoyed the way he ended up and what he did.
Well, let me say this. I also realized more in this movie than any other movie just how incredibly smart Rocket is too. He's very intelligent. He's no dummy. He's extremely smart. And I do like the character development in this film with him as well. He really kind of, again, like you said, they developed the character. We're understanding why he is the way he is a little bit more. We get a little bit more of the background of what he's been through. I agree 100%. But yeah. I do want to talk about something, because I think Rod brings up a good thing here. We got to talk a little bit about Yondu, because again, all of Yondu's crew, what do they all want to do? They want to get Star-Lord. We got to get him.
That's what they've been doing, yeah.
That's what they want. They want to get him. And of course, Yondu's like, no, I can't. No, I'm not. Yes, we will. But then they're like, okay, well, we got him. Let's kill him. And he doesn't want to do it. And there's a mutiny. And it's really, for me, Dan, I got to say this. It's actually kind of not, I don't know if disturbing is the right word, but when they take some of the ones that weren't going to mutiny him, and they put him in there and then cast him out into the space.
Into space.
It's kind of a disturbing scene to see that. That they would. It really is, and we're talking about Taserface, and we'll talk about how funny that is in a minute.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he has a mutiny, and there's a reason why he won't do anything to Star-Lord. Joshua, welcome in, buddy. Joshua Thompson's here. Good to see you, pal.
You can tell that there's something between Yondu and Star-Lord. We don't know for sure. We don't know why, which we'll get to soon, why he did all this for Star-Lord.
Take care, Keith.
See you, Keith. But Yondu, unlike in the first film, we didn't get much of Yondu in the first film. He played a bit of a side role. This film, for me, he was the star of this film, hands down. I think it's all about the father-son relationship in this film. And we find that, for me, Yondu was that father figure of Star-Lord. And it's just, he really, look, what's his name? Michael Rooker.
Mm-hmm.
Great performance. Really great performance. I really enjoyed the scene where him, oh gosh, hi Charlie.
It's a new setup. I'm trying to get the whole lighting thing down. I don't know. It's not working. I have no overhead lighting. There's no overhead lighting. So everything comes from the sides or in front. I don't know. We're working on it.
I really like the scene where Yondu, Rocket, and Baby Groot are in the cage, and they're trying to get the red fin. And Baby Groot keeps going and fighting like either us like it's like, that's my underwear, and like he finds underwear and all that kind of stuff. It's like, and he brings someone's eye, and that's the eye from the previous film that Rocket wanted, and then Rocket just goes. Wait, he doesn't want to give the eye back. He's just like, it must be so funny. He's trying to find out where his eye is, and it's great. I love that scene when he's trying to find the fin. And one of the big surprises is Cracklin, who is Sean Gunn, the director's brother, is in the film. He actually becomes sort of the new Yondu kind of character. He actually helps out a lot and assists in recapturing the ship. I really enjoyed Yondu with Rocket walking through the ship while he's like whistling and killing everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great scene.
That's a great scene. That really is a good scene.
Really greatly edited when they're in the control room with all the screens and you just watch the arrow go through all the computers. fantastic. One of my favorite scenes from the film. Very entertaining and very, very well directed. And that's we'll get into sort of the third act, but Yondu for me, up until that point, just really impressed me because I really enjoyed his character. There's one character who we haven't mentioned yet.
Hey Robin, let me just say hi real fast.
Robin.
Rockin' Robin's in here. Caitlin Make It Blue is in here. Katrina Scolpini is in here as well. I don't know if I said hi to Katrina. I want to say hi to her. She says she only watches for Baby Groot.
There's a lot of fans for Baby Groot.
Yeah, I'm not a fan though. I just never have been. Let me say this about Yondu. He is really. We're going to get to why he is the way he feels about, because you think the whole time he doesn't like Star-Lord. I'm going to kill him this time. Hey, I didn't let them eat you. You should be grateful. Well, there's a reason why he didn't let him eat him, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But the Taserface scene, we got to talk about that. Rocket with Taserface and all the different ways he insults him from that name. And then how his own crew starts laughing at him as well. It's such a great scene.
I'll tell you.
So funny.
I'll tell you what your big kick-ass name is. Taserface. Like, it's just so... And the funniest one is when his ship's about to blow up and he's, like, telling the Sovereign, like, I want you to remember my name. I want everyone to remember the Sovereign to remember my name. Taserface. And you just see the Sovereign woman go...
It's
great. It's a very funny scene.
It is, but that whole scene with him making fun of him like that, it's just so fantastic. Charlie says they waited to kill Ego. They could have used him against Thanos, probably.
Yeah. True. I do want to bring up a character who we haven't spoken anything about, which
talking about Mantis.
No, we haven't spoken about Drax.
Drax the Destroyer.
Now, for me, Drax is the comedic aspect of this film, which I think he desperately needed, because in the first one, he was very serious. He just wanted to kill Ronan. He was very on target. But in this film, I kid you not, Dave Bautista, bravo, absolute bravo. This was the comedy in which Drax needed. Look, he got his revenge on Ronan. We needed something out of him in this film. He had such great lines in this film. Great lines. See,
I thought he had great lines in the first film when he goes.
He did.
Nothing goes over my head. I would catch it.
but he just is. when he was speaking with Star-Lord and Gamora about Ego and his mother, he's like, your mother had sexual intercourse with a planet. He was Squisher.
It's true. Well, that's because he takes everything so literal.
Yeah,
guys, I'm not a big Dave Bautista fan, but
no,
this is the right role for him.
Absolutely,
it's not too much. It's not too little. It's just enough to give him just enough lines to make it funny. And he hits on them really, really well. I agree 100%.
It's the laughing. He does all the laughing.
Mm-hmm.
The really sarcastic laughing. When Mantis reveals Star-Lord's sort of desires for Gamora, he just starts laughing. It's just like, do me next. Yeah, and it's great. It's fantastic. And he did a great performance. And I think Drax is a great character. I think he really is. We need that sort of comedic aspect to the Guardians because, look, Rocket is very serious. Star-Lord is a serious character. Gamora is the most serious out of all of them. Baby Groot, he doesn't really say anything. So you need that sort of light-hearted member of the Guardians to
It's funny how you think Rocket is serious. I find him to be the comedic part of the whole film.
He is.
With all his lines, oh my gosh. I mean, he has a serious agenda. Yeah. I agree with you. And his background is serious. But then again, so is Drax's. I mean, his wife and daughter were murdered by Thanos or by Ronan. So he has a very serious... I think the entire group as a whole are all comedic in some way, shape, or form. Even Gamora has her moments, like when she says, I can't believe I'm going to die surrounded by idiots. She has her funny moments, too. You're right, though. I think for this film, it's Drax's comedic turn. Whereas for me in the first film, the comedic turn was Rocket.
It was
I thought
Rocket. I agree.
Was the comedian
I
in
agree.
The first one.
I agree.
Drax was in this one.
I agree. I absolutely agree. So we'll talk about the third act. I think we'll get into near the end of what's going on. So they all end up on Ego's planet. The Ravengers end up. Where the Ravengers end up? They let the Guardians not go. The Guardians escape. So Yondu escapes, Rocket escapes, and they all end up on Ego on the planet. And we find out Ego's big intention. We find out what his evil plan is. And there's the big fight starts between Star-Lord and Ego, which I really like because there's some really funny scenes in there. I love the part where Ego sort of... So he like grows in stature and then Star-Lord turns into a massive Pac-Man. They go...
Yeah, so many different...
Fantastic.
It really is funny. Yeah.
But the whole way for the Guardians to destroy Ego is to blow up his heart or brain or something. And I really like the scene with Rocket and Groot with the control panel. It's like, whatever you do, don't push this button. And it's like, and then he asks Star-Lord, like, hey, have you got any tape? Like, and then they ask all the Guardians during the fight, hey, does you have tape? How come nobody here has tape? We need to put tape over the button. And then Groot just takes it and just runs in, and Groot pretty much that's pretty much all Groot does in this film. Like he takes the detonator and puts it on Ego's brain, whatever it is. You have Yondu arriving with the greatest line, I think in one of the greatest lines in the whole of Marvel. So Star-Lord says, "You look like Mary Poppins," and then Yondu goes, "Is he cool?"
Really
and then he goes, "Yeah, he's real cool. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all." And I'm just like, this is great. This is writing. This is gold right here.
But ultimately, Yondu doesn't. He saves him. He saves him.
And now we know why.
And he saves Star-Lord. He saves him because he loves him. He's like a son to him.
He's the father figure that he wanted.
Yes, he did take him originally. He took him not in a good reason, but then over time he grew to become a father figure, and he loved Star-Lord, and Star-Lord loved him back, and he realizes it finally in the end because we lose Yondu.
Brian says Groot would look better as a box of pencils. So the big whole fight happens. Mantis puts Ego to sleep, which shows how powerful Mantis really is, and I think people really forget that because we see what Mantis does in Infinity War. We have Nebula and Gamora making up. They're good, and they try and escape, and they escape. Rocket is pretty much one of the saviors, pretty much trying to get everybody out. Kraglin is there to help too, and Drax is, he puts on the bodysuit. It's just like, my nipples, and he's like carrying like people back to the ship. He's like, where's Quill? Like, what's going on? We need to save Quill. And the person who saves Quill is Yondu. And they only have one gravity pack thing and one jetpack. So Yondu takes the jetpack but gives the gravity thing to Star-Lord to save his life. And then like you said, we see the sacrifice of Yondu. And I want to bring this up. This is where I think over the MCU, the person who loses the most in the whole of the MCU, you could arguably say is Star-Lord. He loses his mother. He loses his actual father. He loses Yondu. He loses Gamora in Infinity War. Star-Lord loses everybody, which is why he probably retaliated in the end of Infinity War against Thanos. Star-Lord's character in this film, he's on an emotional ride. He finally meets his father. His father's a jerk. His father figure, Yondu, who he thought, there wasn't really
was a jerk, really wasn't.
He loses him. Like, Star-Lord really, throughout the whole of the MCU, goes on that emotional journey, and I feel for him. I think people really forget what kind of journey he goes on. And we get to see the sacrifice of Yondu. Ego is destroyed. He turns into like David Hasselhoff a couple of times.
Yes, that was funny.
And that pretty much happens. What do you think of the final battle?
Well, I like it. It's not one of my favorite battles.
No,
Okay?
it's not.
You know, ultimately, they've just got to put something on his brain and blow him up. That's it. I mean, you know, he comes back and forth here and there, but I like it. It's a good battle. There's a lot of comedic moments in it, I think, which is really cool as well. I do like the fact there's some emotion there with Yondu and everything like that as well. Is it my favorite battle scene? No, not even close. But it does well. What are you doing?
Hi.
Well, listen, you made it worse. Put it back where it was.
Hi, Melissa.
She's trying to get the lighting better. But no, you can't do that. Will you just put it back, please?
Come on, she just got home.
I don't care. Everybody's saying hi to you, by the way.
Oh gosh.
But it was. I liked it. I didn't love it. It's not my favorite, but I do like it for sure.
No. The ending. This ending was one of my favorite endings, I think, in the whole of the MCU.
Really?
There's only a few endings in the MCU that made me.
Hi, Lori.
It made me cry. I think because Yondu was such an amazing character in this film that his death was really justified. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think previously in the film they're talking about, you know, he's never going to get a Ravager burial. He's never going to have anybody turn up to his burial or whatever. And when you see those ships come out from space and surround where the Guardians were and see Yondu.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And the song the song is called Father and Son.
Right.
And you listen to it and it's beautiful. The fireworks coming off the ships. Mm-hmm. It's a really emotional ending. And I really believe that it's a wonderful way to end a film, because we don't always need that happy ending. This whole film has been about character development. Mm-hmm. And I think it was a great way to end the film with Yondu's death.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think they did a really good job with it overall. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. I agree 100% for me too.
Did you want to talk about the end credit scenes?
I do. I want to talk about the one with the Sovereign.
Okay.
I think it's a big one. I don't know. Look, I don't ultimately know where Disney's going to go with this or where Marvel's going to go with it. But the Sovereign had kind of failed. Okay, they failed with their quest of getting back at Star-Lord and this, that, and the other. And the leader of the Sovereign has to meet with somebody higher up than her. I don't remember who she's trying to meet with. But she's making this
sort of like this next generation of Sovereign, like this next.
Yes, but bigger and better and stronger. And she's sitting there, and you see this kind of cocoon. And she's sitting there, and they're like, well, what's in there? And she goes, the next generation, like you said, of us. And she goes, I think I'll call him Adam. Which is fantastic, because they're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock.
Who is a hugely popular and hugely powerful Marvel character. Whether or not they're going to go with anything on this, we haven't heard anything about his character coming out. But I would really like to see where they go with that. That could be a lot of fun.
That I'm 75% sure that will come up in Guardians 3. Adam Warlock, if you don't know, in the comics, Adam Warlock was one of the guys who defeated Thanos on his own. Mm-hmm. He held the Infinity Gauntlet, no problem. He's a very, very powerful being. But
good night, Wendy. Wendy's going to bed. Wendy, have a great night. Thank you, dear, for all you did today. You were fantastic. Sorry, Dan. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's a very powerful guy. So I'm very interested to see what they do in the MCU with him. I'm very excited. There's some other. I think this was the first MCU film that had more than 2 post-credit scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had 4. They had the Adam Warlock, which is definitely the most intriguing.
Right.
They had the Teen Groot on his sort of play game thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Star-Lord is telling him to clean up his room.
Clean up
Obviously,
his room.
hinting that Teen Groot will be used in Avengers Infinity War.
Right. Hi, Tina. Welcome in.
Tina, good to see you. They also had Stanley as one of the Watchers, which I think is very fitting because the Watchers have always been sort of looking at all parts of the of Marvel, which I think is very, very appropriate. And there was one more, wasn't there? I can't remember which one.
Well, it was the scene with the. Look, we didn't really talk about any of those real cameos, but Sylvester Stallone and his group had a cameo in the movie, and they had a end credit scene. I don't know if anything's going to come of that, but there was the Sylvester Stallone cameo as part of that one group who the name of.
I think one of the members used magic, and that hinted to Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay, maybe could be.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right with the Sylvester Stallone thing.
Yeah, that scene.
Yeah. So not many hints, but you know.
No, not many, but a couple here and there. But overall, Dan, we're at that time when we're going to give our grades on this film. Now, folks, for those that don't know, we grade like a letter grade. We go from A+ down to an F. We want you guys in the chat to also give your letter grade for this movie. A+, A-, B+, B-, B, A, whatever you want. Dan, since you are the guest on my channel this week, I'm going to have you go first.
This was a tough one. I really like the film. I do. It's not as good as the first one. In my opinion, it's nowhere near as good as the first one. I think I gave the first one an A-. But I do enjoy the film because it has a very good way of directing characters. The story wasn't the best. I don't think the villain was the best. I think the Sovereign were a complete waste. I don't think you needed the Sovereign. The soundtrack, we didn't even touch on the soundtrack. The soundtrack is, again, very, very good. I like the film. Not my favorite of the MCU. I'm going to give it a B, a solid B. Okay. I think I can't give it a B+ for me. That's too close to Guardians with the A-. But I still think a B is a very good, solid score for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Cool. Very good. Well, for me, I didn't like it as well as the first one either. I wasn't happy with the villain. The villain was okay. I didn't like the story that much. I hate to say it. I got to give it a C+. I can't give it a B. Okay. I just can't for me. Yeah. I'm not overly happy with this film. It's not one that I think I saw it the first time and haven't seen it since. I'm just not a big fan of it. It does introduce Mantis, which I think is great. We do need her. She plays a really big part in the Infinity movies. A big enough part anyway. And for me, not a lot of new characters really developed in this film. So C+ for me. I'm not. It's really if I were to list all of my movies for Marvel, this one would be near less than halfway to the bottom.
It'll be lower mid table.
Yes, lower mid table for sure.
Yeah.
But so that's my grade, C+. It's not a terrible grade. It's just
no, I don't think so at all.
Let's see what we got in the chat, Dan. What's everybody saying in the chat?
So Wendy Lee, a bit a while ago, she gave it a B+.
Nice.
Which I think is a good score. We have Tina Marie Photography gave it a B+. Rod gave it an A, which is very.
Yeah, I like his comment too. He says, "I'm adopted and lost my dad a few years back, so this movie touched me, especially."
Absolutely. I think a lot of films, no matter if it's Marvel, not Marvel, everyone's going to have a different grade and different opinion. So, Drew Myers gives it an A+, which is absolutely great. I mean, that's fantastic. Jonathan Chong gives it a B. Laurie French gives it a B. My Captain Akron gives it a B-. Brian gives it an S, but to be honest, Brian has his own scoring table anyway, so. But yeah, I think that's what we have so far. But guys, if you have seen the film, give us your grade in the chat.
Yeah, give us a lot of grade.
So yeah, I like the film. I think Yondu's my favorite character. I don't know about you. Who's your favorite character in this film?
Oh, my favorite character in this film is probably it's probably Rocket or Drax for this one.
Yep.
I wanted to like Ego, but because I love Kurt Russell, but
They're good choices. I mean, Yondu's great. I think Drax is great, and Rocket again, fantastic. So,
yeah. So there you go, guys. That's our letter grade for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We're going to do a little bit of mousekeeping in just a second, but before we do the mousekeeping, it's time for the scariest part of the show. What's up, Matt? Simba 2, welcome in, buddy.
Hey, Matt.
He says, we're late. Can we start over? Sure, we'll start over.
No, because it's nearly midnight and I've got to get up for work tomorrow.
I know, I'm just kidding.
So, as a lot of you may know, every week we choose a movie from Disney Plus that is in this box. And we're going to watch it this week. This is our Disney movie review. It's like a Disney book club, but for movies. Whatever we pick, please watch it and then come over next week onto my channel for the next review. Let's go. Let's give it a go. What do you fancy, Walt, this week?
I want another live action, but I want a classic live action. I really do. I want it to be one I haven't seen in a while. Like last week when we did The Rescuers, I had never seen it. Watched it. It was awesome. Here we go.
Here we go. You got live action. You got live action. We are going to literally dive into the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise.
Oh!
And we are watching... I'm quite excited for this one. I'm quite excited. We are watching Pirates 4, which is on Stranger Tides.
Okay.
Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. With
is that the one with Penelope Cruz?
Penelope Cruz and the bad guy is Blackbeard. So
Ian McShane. Ian McShane is his name.
McShane. I'm very excited. Pirates of the Caribbean is one of my guilty pleasure franchises. I've been waiting for a Pirates film. Oh gosh, here we go.
Chucky, what's up, buddy?
I'm looking forward to this one. I really am. I haven't seen this one in a long time. Live action. I'm looking forward to this. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Please, guys, go watch it. Go watch it this week, and then come onto my channel next week where Walt and I will be reviewing Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
I agree. Rod Brewster says Candle Shoe. I've seen Candle Shoe. Jodie Foster. I actually like it. I think it's good. I can't wait till we review it. Candle Shoe's a good one. I can't wait. Ian McShane.
Jeff Abramson says, hello all. Why don't you watch Apple Dumpling Gang? Now, let me tell you, Apple Dumpling Gang is in the box. It is in the box. It's whatever we choose from the box each week.
Yeah, I agree. It's a straight pull. It's luck of the draw. It's like a lottery. Whichever one comes out, that's what we're watching.
Yep.
So we are watching Pirates on Stranger Tides.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And we might have a special guest. We're going to look to see. Sometimes we have special guests. Sometimes we don't. But if we ever get to a movie that you are really passionate about, you can send one of us a direct message, and we'll do our very best to see about getting you on.
Absolutely.
But, Dan, this was great. Let me just do some quick mousekeeping, of course, as usual. Thank you to Dean over at the Live Place. We are kind of finishing up this movie marathon week that he's been doing. Tons of streamers have been participating in it all week. We are both very honored to be participating in it as well. This has been fantastic. Congratulations again to one of my partner channels. This guy right over there on 2,000 subs. He hit it today, guys. It's a big milestone for Dan. And so it's been a long time coming. We probably should have had this a long time ago. But he is there. If you haven't already subscribed to Dan, I think everybody in here has. But if you haven't, go check out his channel. I think you'll be very happy with it. And congratulations, pal.
Thank you.
What's next week on Disney Fiasco?
Disney Fiasco is episode 111. I'm feeling, I'm feeling with everything going on. I wanted to do something dedicated to the Disney legends. So we may be talking about our favorite Disney legends. That's gonna be something very, very interesting. Whether that's who ran parks, who maybe directed Disney films, whatever your favorite Disney legends. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. I'm very excited, and some special guests will be joining us.
That's awesome. Can't wait for that. And of course, Steve Steve's World is our other partner channel. Steve goes live on Mondays with Just Another Monday Night. Check him out over there as well. Members, thank you again to all of our members. You know who you are. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your loyalty. Membership keeps growing, which just blows my mind. But we are extremely blessed and humbled that you have taken that extra step. And if you are a Grim Grinning Gang member, please look for the brand new Man vs. Park video that we did post today. It is out there. It's a thriller. You guys are going to like it. I loved filming it, and I hope you guys like it. But I think that's it, pal. We got another one in the books.
That's another one. That's number 15, 16, something like that.
I can't believe it's been 16 weeks already. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's been great. It's been so much fun. So much fun. I love doing these. Guys, this is, like I say every week, this is so much fun to do every single week. We love reviewing these films for you. Go watch them in the week. Come back. And yeah, I love doing these with you, bud. It's just great. It really is.
I agree. We have an awesome time with this. This is fantastic. And guys, thank everybody for joining us. This is absolutely wonderful. Every single time we do these, I can't wait for next week. And one last thing, thank you again to everybody for helping us get to 4,000 subs as well. We're very honored with it. So thank you.
Yay!
But you guys, everybody, have a great week. We will be live on Tuesday with Dissanity for us. And, of course, next weekend we'll be back in the parks. We got 2 more parks lined up. We'll be sending them out this week. So I hope to see you all in the streams. Everybody. Oh, Dan, how do you end your streams?
Eat Dole Whips and citrus swirls.
And how else do you end your streams?
I always say live your life with a smile each and every day.
Absolutely. And guys, we always say take care of yourselves and each other. We'll talk to you all really soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.